So Jack has said, please follow the new Elders Wisdom TikTok channel. So
superb.
That's very great. So I was a bit concerned about that we were posting on the Healing Waters TikTok channel, and that I was told that TikTok was even worse than YouTube for censoring. And people, both Facebook and YouTube, are still censoring very strongly, aren't they?
Yes. Richard Vobes, poor little Richard Vobes. He's not very little, I don't know actually. But yeah, he's been sacked basically. He's had his salary ripped out of him by YouTube demonetizing him. Poor little bugger.
We've got Julie Tasker. Sorry, Julie, my eyes aren't that great for reading it. My first live joining you through, though apologies, I can't stay lots. I can't stay long. Julie, hi.
Hello, Julie. How do we know Julie? How does Julie know us?
Where do we know you from, Julie? Maybe we don't know you. Maybe you've just come across us in this.
Because we're so famous.
We're getting less famous by the minute. I have
heard. I hate to be, what's it, vanilla. I definitely want to be Marmite.
What, that people...
Vanilla, everybody accepts vanilla, but Marmite, people go no or yes.
Okay. Yeah, I must say I have been really struggling today. It's Julie. Oh, Jack's saying hi, Julie. Oh my God. I'm getting more and more incoherent by the day, and I've spent the last few days in a total state of exhaustion, not feeling any motivation to do anything. But this morning I decided when I woke up, instead of going back to bed with my pot of tea, I was going to go out for a walk and take a flask with me and walk. So that was really, really, really great. Got me going.
Changed up your morning ritual.
Changed up the morning ritual, yes. So yeah, I think it's very watching what's going on all the time is very, very exhausting, isn't it? It's utterly draining.
Yeah, it just encroaches on all your thoughts because it's around your thinking so often, isn't it? It's just like, it's the program, isn't it? The more repetition, the more we believe it. The more repetition, the more we believe it. So they're just seeing the same repetition energetically, maybe not the content. The energies are so repetitive.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very repetitive, and at the same time, we've got this huge pattern disrupt going on. So there's this massive attempt to smash the narrative, to break down the narrative, and like, is it being smashed or is it more of the same? So I was very despairing.
Yeah, who's doing the smashing, isn't it? It's like with Buddhism and meditation, isn't it? When you start watching, who's the watcher? It's like identification of that aspect. I think that's the practice.
Who's the watcher? Who is it that's watching this nonsense going round and round and round? But that's interesting that you should say that, because tonight I wanted to look at all the different viewpoints of what must be the most gripping thing that's just happened to the world, in the world. And I was like, maybe I don't want to talk about that. Maybe, because there's so many things to talk about. But anyway, I came back to talking, looking at it, and it's like my mind's in a complete wash with all the different perspectives and things. So anyway, before I go into that, I just wanted to say that it's like we're in a huge detox, because we're always looking for signs of health in the system. And we have to believe as healers that the system is inherently healthy, and health is always going to rise to the surface. I mean, that's a fundamental healing principle for me, and also a spiritual belief. If you want to trust in God or trust the process, you have to believe that there is a fundamental health and wholeness there, and that the goodness is going to come to the top, that the light always wins, and so on. So I'm always looking for signs, and unfortunately we're glued to this internet now. We're always looking for signs through the internet for this health, for breaking the narrative, for a disruption in the patterns. And are we really getting this, or are we getting more of the same?
Yeah, exactly. How much of it is healing and helping and growth, and how much of it is stuck in the old same stuff? Yeah,
and So we're seeing like incredible acceleration right now of things. And whilst like it's interesting, at the time when Kennedy was shot, apparently it took like I don't know how long, 30 years or something, before it came to light that there was a second shooter. And now, within a few hours, it's come to light not only that there's a second shooter, but there's all sorts of total discrepancies in this narrative. That everybody has got a different story about what's happened, whether it was, and maybe you've guessed, dear listeners, now the topic that I chose to bring. What's the topic, Marion? What's the topic?
It's a chocolate bar with hazelnuts. What has a hazelnut in every bite? Squirrel shit.
Yeah, squirrel shit. It's like, oh my God, you know. But we've been told to expect some craziness. And apparently that's not even the event. There's a much bigger event on the horizon, because we're in this triple conjunction of various planets and a distant star that I know not the name of.
Well, the name sounds like, God, it's called, it'll come to me. It's a very strange name. It'll come to me. Oh, alcohol.
But yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Alcohol. It's the spirit of alcohol.
And that it's.
Why has nobody said this? This is quite clearly to me that same vibration. Alcohol.
And it was the same vibration as the 9/11 event. We had the same kind of lineup things. And another sign, so we are in this conjunction, but another thing is that Shadow of Ezra just posted, it's a Twitter handle, X handle, was that on the stock market, before this mythical person had this attempted shooting, that everyone betted that he'd be dead by Monday. So there was a lot of money lined up on that. So it said follow the money. As to whether this was authentic or not, follow the money. So that's another piece in the puzzle.
Say that again. I didn't understand what you said. So there were loads of bets put on that he was just about to be shot.
Well, I don't understand the terminology. It's the short sellings on stocks, on his stocks. I don't know anything. I know nothing.
Yeah, so they were doing short selling. Yeah, okay. So it's like it's a crisis strategy that they have. Okay.
Yeah. So the last time this massive short selling happened and people got very, very rich on it was with the 9/11 event. So you have two things. You have that crazy conjunction, triple astrology, and you have the short selling on Trump's stocks or whatever. Anyway, so Jack says a carbon copy of the JKF assassination, except this time they failed. This time they failed if it was really planned to happen, because that's the other thing is like maybe it was.
To me, there's no blood on his collar, on his hand, on his sleeve. I've had a few hairdressers nip my ear. Has that ever happened to you? A few dresses, it bleeds a lot. So
I've been spared that.
No blood just gave me a little bit of a okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Where's Buttons and Cinderella now? I'm just waiting behind you. The pantomime continues.
Yeah, the pantomime continues. But is it a pantomime or is it like a disclosure movie? Because everything about this is shown or is showing more and more is coming to the light. So I'm talking about things coming up and coming up and coming up. That every single event that happens now actually shows the complete pantomime, and now absolutely everything is fake and set up.
Yeah. Because that iconic picture, I can't see anymore. I'd have been making memes of the iconic picture, whatever it's like. There's no blood on it. What's that about?
No, well, there's blood on his face, but anyway.
Well, nip your ear and see what happens.
Quite a little blood on his face, but you know that as Janine says, you know that you have the same with the 9, the same with the J. No, we mustn't say those words because we'll get censored. You know, the storming of the Bastille that happened.
Oh, yeah, you get fined for walking across the law. No, you get imprisoned, don't you?
So the person that was shot there, it was the same thing. It was kind of set up in the the same way. So you have a blood pack that you squeeze and then the blood comes out.
Yeah.
But what's interesting anyway is like all this is coming to light, and it's making you think about all those other things that we thought were or were told were conspiracy theories in the beginning, and now we're told, oh, that is really true. There really are aliens, or there really is weather modification, etc., etc., etc. All those things that truthers have been trying to bring out for the last 4 or 5 years, or the last 4 or 5 decades, is like now being seen in front of your very eyes. It's
the CT initials are conspiracy theorist and critical thinker.
okay. Yeah, that's very
The
good.
interchange, apparently.
Well, that's very good, critical thinker. And conspiracy theory was set up by the that 3-letter agency, which also apparently on TikTok, if you refer to these 3-letter agencies, that's the most likely thing to get you banned. So that.
Oh, I really love them.
So that's what was set up to be able to gaslight people, is to call them a conspiracy theorist if they question the narrative. So Julie, I can't see, is it Tasker? I think it's Tasker. Positive paradigm shift continues. I'll keep praying and not with dogmatic religion. Yeah, thank you. I like to believe, Julie, I like to believe that we're having a positive paradigm shift. I like to believe that we are moving towards health and wellness. And yeah, but I'm being really brought down at the moment by the, I'm kind of reacting to the weather modification because it just pisses me off immensely. Continuously, all the damage to our crops and things. Anyway, there's bound to be something that gets you at a gut level, isn't it? With all the horror that's unfolding everywhere. You know, whether it's your children being murdered by the jabs, or your granny being euthanized in hospital, or any of those things. It's like, how can you go through this time and not be really affected by it? So Jack is saying we have oh gosh, lots of comments.
Very good.
Lots of comments. I'm not very good at scrolling these comments. So that's Julie saying that. And then we have Jack saying, yes, according to police reports, what's that word? A 50-year-old volunteer fire chief was killed, and the other two people were shot were 57-year-old David Dutch and 74-year-old James. Anyway, I can't see all of what you said, but people that's going to read the comments will see it all. Okay, you've written a lot, Jack. I can't put it all on the screen. Let me try again. Let me put my glasses on.
It's got this written lots. What's the point? There's 3 dead, is there?
According to Jack, there's been 3 dead. So his point was, in order to prove Trump was in on it and there was no real blood, it would be necessary to prove that these 3 people were actors and were not actually hurt either, and that Thomas Crooks had been firing. Hang on.
I don't believe they're I think they're that heartless, Jack. I think it's possible that people were killed.
According to the principle of Occam's razor, the simplest exclamation is that Crooks missed. The more complicated and less believable explanation is that Trump stood there unflinching, knowing a 20-year-old kid was about to take pot shots at him. Sorry, but I just don't buy it. I agree that almost everything reported in the mainstream media is fake, and I don't trust any politician. But unless those victims can be found alive and well, I should continue to believe that the 3-letter agency tried to assassinate him, just as they killed JFK. The only difference was that Lee Harvey Oswald was a patsy, and they had a trained assassin to take the killing shots. Julie says, I'm a complementary therapist and I've taught various, and I continue to keep voicing to get complementary therapies properly integrated in our NHS and local communities.
For you.
Yeah, 1 dead and 2 injured. Anyway, Jack, so there you go. Wherever you look on the internet, there's a different controversy about it. And that's the point. It's like when JFK was dead, was shot, everybody just believed it. I remember when it happened, I think I was like 10 or something. Everybody believed it and went into shock and mourning for years.
It's the power of the programming, repetition and shock. They both work the same way, don't they?
Yeah. But now it's all over the place. Everybody's questioning, which is a really good thing because we've been doing these programs trying to get people to question. I don't know what's what. I don't know
no idea. But when you hear something, you just go, "Oh, that actually gives me a reason not to look at other things," because there's some things that you just can't avoid. Not avoid. What's the word? You just can't ignore.
And we have our personal bias, isn't it? It's like
We all do. We can't not have our personal bias. And what's great is we can both think like I completely disagree with what Jack says, but I don't care. He doesn't need me to agree with him, and I don't need him to agree with me. We're quite happy having opposite opinions. We've got it on plenty of stuff, haven't we, Jack? But yeah, when you talk about the fine details, we'll always disagree. The magic is when you can chunk up with your values and recognize you're actually coming from the same place. You're just on different streets.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is the challenge for humanity at the time, to recognize that we have different opinions and we're in different camps.
Yeah, and it's okay. We can live together happily with our different. It doesn't matter. Marmite in it. Some people like it, some people don't. Doesn't matter.
Jack says absolutely, Maria.
Yeah, me and mine, Jack. We're all right. We get on all right. We fight all right.
So, but with this personal bias, we want to see a certain thing happen. If you happen to believe that Biden is the good guy and that he's doing the right thing for humanity, then you'd be like backing behind that. But if you wanted to believe
behind bars, if you're thinking like
probably. But there's a lot of people that do believe that.
I don't know.
But meanwhile, you might have Trump derangement.
I think that's more like it's just an anti-Trump thing, isn't it? I don't think there's anything that's really pro-Biden. It's pure anti-Trump.
It's pure anti-Trump, and it's quite interesting because somebody commented on a picture with him praying, saying, "Well, if he's ever been to church, then this is just AI. I doubt if he's ever seen the inside of a church." But that's like,
it's all part of the pantomime. Of course they do.
Yeah.
We don't know how sincere they are, but they do it.
Yeah, exactly. There has been a deliberate campaign to make him look really, really bad with saying disgusting things, but maybe there's another level of the campaign. It's like he's becoming the hero now. So all those charges that were piled against him, that they're being dropped. Even the what's
so last week, darling, isn't it? All that now, that court narrative.
Yeah. So he's now emerging as this hero, like fight. This iconic picture, and it's like it's going to be etched forever into people's psyches that he did that he
now you'll always when you look at it, all of you now, you'll go, God, there's no blood. How could there be no blood? That's what I think anyway. That's what happened to me.
Yeah, it's good. But if it's moving us towards a good conclusion, then maybe we need that inspiration. But I think for the good conclusion that we shouldn't be relying on any
inner inspiration for us to better ourselves in our own lives, not to be controlled and ruled, into betterment and wellness, but to just fucking take the reins.
Exactly, we need to take the reins. But that is still a very complex thing, as we've discovered.
You're already doing it though, aren't you? You've got the gardens, you've got the sanctuary, you've got the the training and the work and the healing, and you've got all of these things that you have created already. And many people are they're striving to create what you've already got. So it's great that we've together you're able to share. This is part of what I see as the elders' wisdom. You're able to share what it is like to actually be taking part in that sort of this sovereign lifestyle. You're a living example of it, so what better voice to listen to than someone who's got the experience. You don't follow an unscarred sergeant into battle They'll all be following Trump now, won't they? He's got his battle scar.
He's got his battle. His ear. Who was it? It's like Vincent van Gogh had his ear run. Anyway. Oh, yeah, and he was playing golf next day. Brigitte said the message is keep your eye on the ball. So what's the message? That's it. What's the message for you in what's just happened? Dear listeners who are watching this is my question. What is the message? What do you get? Not what you interpret you're watching, but what is touched within you as a result of what's happened? Yeah. And what helps you, what supports you in this shift towards health and wellness? Because that's where we need to go with this. So have a little reflection on that. And meanwhile, I thought I would just like to share briefly, how do you feel, Mariam? I've got a couple of clips on what happened with Trump, and the internet is absolutely full of it. Wherever you look, there's somebody having an interpretation. It was this, and they've got their personal bias. You know, this is the message of our times. Trump's going to be our whatever savior, and this one, he's a charlatan, and whatever. You know, everybody's got that personal bias, but it's touched everyone, which is quite interesting. Who's not been touched by what's happened? So I thought I would show a couple of these little clips. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Marianne, I'm asking you. Okay. Is
Yes,
there anything you want to tell me about what's going on for you before we get into that?
Well, I was just thinking about in September, about if we were, because we mentioned there's a possibility of a live gathering. Well, I've decided there's a possibility of a live gathering. So I was just thinking then when you were saying about what do you want to do about it, I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to get involved in that live gathering. So yes, we'll tell people more about it soon.
Yeah, that's right. So it's like this power in people actually coming together, building community, processing rather than through this screen. You know, having some deep connection and processing, and you know, expressing how they're feeling, what would help them. You know, because we've all got so much to bring forward. You know, we're all parts of the puzzle. Each one of us that can come together and contribute in some way. Oh, I was having this thought about the elephant in the room today. No, we're all saying, no, there's an elephant in the room. There's all this stuff.
Which one?
Oh, which one?
There's a herd.
Yeah. And it's like, if you can only see a little bit of it, or you can only touch a little bit of it, you don't really know what is actually there. And we need us all.
So the 5 blind men. First one thought it was a rope because he was touching its tail. The second one thought it was a tree stump because he's touching its leg. The third one thought it was don't know, because he was touching his belly. The fourth one was touching his ear and thought it was something else. And the fifth one was touching his trunk and thought it was a hose. And it was an elephant.
Yeah, so which bit of the elephant are you hanging on to in this moment? Or are you feeling crushed underneath the foot of the elephant? So. Anyway, should we share?
Go on then.
We don't have a date yet. We don't have a date for this September event.
Early mid-September it'll be.
Early mid-September. So just float in that and keep your ears open, because we want to move this forward into an
tell us if you would come.
Yeah, would you come to a live event at Healing Waters, Healing Gardens here in Glastonbury, Spiritual Healing Centre and Healing Gardens.
See what really happens when you do start to create what Juliet's created, which is this amazing set of the seeding of self-sovereignty.
Yeah. I get less and less able to blow my own trumpet as I go on. So yeah. So we hope to offer that to you all. So, okay, shall I share the few little clips here?
Oh.
Screen share. See if I can do it now. So this first one is the first. Okay. Media expose. The first one is different takes on the media and how they're responding. And this guy is obviously like really pro-Trump, because he starts saying how touching it was actually seeing Trump and how genuine he is and the like. So let's start this.
You are on the right or the left exactly happened. And yet there was unbelievable difference in reporting on what happened across the political spectrum when it came to the media. Despite that, let's look at the initial headlines that were all over the internet. The Washington Post: Trump rushed off stage after loud noises heard at PA rally. USA Today: Trump removed from stage by the Secret Service after loud noises startled former president crowd. The BBC: Trump rushed off stage at Pennsylvania rally. ABC News: Trump says he was shot at rally in possible assassination attempt. Spectator killed and shooter. This ABC headline is absolutely ridiculous. Trump, quote, says he was shot at, quote, possible assassination attempt. Why include says? Why include possible? There is no doubt about what happened. In the same sentence, they say the spectator was killed. So if Trump says it, are you suggesting that it might not be true, even though you're also saying in the same sentence that someone was killed? CNN: Trump's speech interrupted by Secret Service. CNN again: Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. But if we're going to give media the benefit of the doubt, we should steel man the argument that they shouldn't be reporting on things without conclusive evidence, without being 100% sure about what happened. So let's have a closer look at the timings and when the media reported things. So we're all clear. Here are the exact timings of how events unfolded in Butler, Pennsylvania. At 6:03 p.m., Trump took the stage. At 6:11 and 33 seconds, the first shots were fired. 5 minutes later, ABC News reported at 6:16 p.m., Donald Trump escorted off stage by Secret Service during rally after loud noises ring out in crowd. Now, I would say within 5 minutes of the incident, this headline is understandable. But at time of recording this video, they still have not changed that headline. And changing headlines is exactly what the mainstream media have been doing throughout this story. The Washington Post published an article with the headline, Trump rushed off stage after loud noises at rally. At 7:22, well over an hour after the shooting, they changed the content of the article, but not the headline itself. They did eventually change the headline, but they changed it to, Trump says he was shot in ear during Pennsylvania rally shooting. Says... At 6:31 Eastern Time, the USA Today published the headline, Trump removed from stage by Secret Service after loud noises startles former president crowd. Now, this article was updated at 6:53, long after we had established it was an assassination attempt. However, they kept the headline the same. Jake Tapper, who you will remember as the moderator on the CNN debate between Biden and Trump, tweeted this at 7:33 p.m. Trump injured in incident in Pennsylvania. Tapper tweeted this even though at this point it was abundantly clear there was an assassination attempt. Tapper must have realized this as he swiftly deleted the tweet and posted this instead. Now, fair enough, he deleted that post and 5 minutes later posted something more accurate. But the question is, why didn't he post that in the first place? It's not like there was a long time lag between tweets. This perhaps tells us something about the instincts of the mainstream media. It seems...
Okay, well, I've just turned that off now because it goes on, but you can go back and look at it. So, yes, it's interesting that there's so much discourse on it all.
It's all part of the magic trick, distraction,
Yes.
chaos.
So magic is what's happening with Trump, a distraction from something else, even.
Well, it's to me, it's almost like a chalk up for this war with Iran. That's like Israel against Iran and America against Iran, and everyone's going to be against Iran. And then BRICS are going to get involved. It's all a bit weird. That's how I see it. It's just, you know, when you look back now and they say in World War II, this happened. Well, it happened because somebody got pissed off because of this decision. And then when you look back at why that happened, well, this had happened to the, so it's like they line these things up and then another big chaos pot explodes.
Yeah. And everything's happening so quickly and we're expecting, we're like watching, looking for health in the system, trying to understand what's going on. And it's completely exhausting.
Yeah.
And smoke and mirrors and nobody can make sense of it. So
a massive fight towards Israel as well at the moment with for what they call the DMC. They keep cropping up, don't they? The DNC. No, the RNC. The other ones actually. Sorry.
Okay, is that another 3 letters? I don't know who that is. I don't know.
You know, the party conference.
Oh, okay.
Like party conference.
So before we go off track, I thought it'd be very interesting to look at Janine. Have you seen Janine? Tarot with Janine. She was banned from YouTube because she was getting so on point with everything. Her YouTube, where she had thousands and thousands of followers, was taken down. Anyway, so this is Janine with Jean Claude in a program Beyond Mystic. So it's all woo-woo. They do constant tarot readings on everything that's happening. And apparently they have been very close to the truth so many times, or it's been very...
What sorts of things have they unearthed that you know of?
Oh, Marion, don't ask me questions like that. You expect me to send my brain backwards. I don't know. It's just interesting. It's another viewpoint, another perspective, another lens to look through. So you can make your own, you know, it's like asking me, did that therapy work or not? I don't know. You know, maybe it did, maybe it didn't, or maybe there's unseen factors in it that was responsible. I'm always very, very reluctant to say anything that's helping anything. So where is it? Oh, right. Breaking woos. Okay. Yeah, when people say, what did you find when I'm doing healing work? I say, I don't know. What did you find? So it's a bit of a cop-out, but I'm very reluctant to...
To me, that they were able to snap this shot, whoever was there, exactly pre-positioned with the flag in the background, like everything perfect. It seems a little bit orchestrated to me. It seems movie magic. Let's do a poll in the cards here. Is this some type of schedule here where this was pre-planned in the way people knew about it and they were there for the money shot, like pre-position for the money shot? I want to know this first because it's going to give us some leads on where to go next with this whole story. You guys let me know in the chat if you think, yeah, the Pineapple Patriot says, yeah, epic movie poster indeed. That's what I was getting at here. Let me know if you think this poster is just very lucky or perhaps planned. Let us know, lucky or planned in the live chat. 2 words, lucky or planned.
I'm going with planned.
Okay.
So a lot of people were in on whatever we saw there. There's a lot of people agreed to things. Maybe even like, who knows, like the people they're interviewing, the person that got supposedly hurt in the stands, maybe even the person that got shot. I don't know. Right. But it looks like there's been a lot of agreements in the back channels to get this all to happen. And this is interesting. I wonder if that shot, they were using some kind of technology to get that perfect shot that maybe is beyond what we know to be. So maybe they had cameras placed or some kind of technology that could capture the, you know, like the perfect,
right.
Maybe AI, even using AI to capture the perfect shot, because like you said, it was like had all the elements. So who knows, maybe they had a real special kind of camera placed somewhere.
Right. There was this one also here. This was just after the shot rang here. Yeah. So I'm looking at the poll here in the live chat, and mostly people are with you in the cards there. It appears to be planned. Now, that begs the question, Janine, is this being planned by the White Hats or is it being planned by the cabal to actually assassinate Trump? In Alex Jones' video, we'll look at that a little bit later on. He's suggesting that this is the cabal acting out. They know they're losing, and they tried to steal the election. They tried to put him in jail. None of that is working. It's actually backfiring on them. And their last chance was to perhaps put him in the bullseye, so to speak, as we heard a lot of Democrats say in the last week. So we'll get to that, the decode here on the pre-programming here in just a moment. But for now, I want you to do a poll on who was planning this. Good guys or the bad guys? What do you see? Or is it a bad guy op turned into a good guy op live on the spot? We've seen those before as well. So let's see what the cards pick up on that. And again, I'll poll the audience members here. Do you think this is a white hat op or black? So type in white or black in the live chat. Curious to know what you guys are thinking. I'm polling you guys. There's about 6,000 or 7,000 here on Rumble and another almost 2,000 on YouTube and Twitter there. Janine, white hat or black hat?
Well, I think it was that third thing you mentioned. So they heard about it, and even though it was disappointing, okay, so they were disappointed to hear that this was going to go down, but they spun it for their advantage. So this was something that was planned by the bad guys. They heard about it, and I even think somebody on the black hat side finked their people out, like told on them. I think we had a turncoat, and it came to the attention of the white hats, and they turned it around and turned it into something they could work with. So they got Trump to safety. That wasn't him. That was an actor. They put a vest on, whoever that was. They even said that in one of the news reports that he was wearing a bulletproof vest. So that's interesting. They got him safe. So that's a safe card, right? Safe. Okay. And also tried to neutralize the whole situation. Like in the background, I even feel like.
Wow. This is a big operation. So let's go here. Elon Musk retweeted earlier tonight, the head of the Secret Service and the leader of his security.
Yeah, so it's an exploration. I also watched Redacted. There's so many inconsistencies in the whole thing. That's crazy making inconsistencies. But it's also interesting if you start taking apart other events you just totally believed in, like for instance,
Your volume's just gone really weird, Juliet.
Oh, can you not hear me?
No, say that again. You can now.
Okay. So there's so many inconsistencies when you watch the shooting, the assassination. Then there's lots of inconsistencies, and it's like their questions like, okay, if this was a planned event, which they're saying it was a planned event, was it planned by the bad guys? Was it the Biden? Because Biden says, I'm going to put a bullseye. Trump's going to be in the bullseye that he said, like after the debate that happened.
Well, I think all the pantomime characters in it are like, we talked about this last week, didn't we? They did not earn it hires, not actually being able to do the job, and having military around him that was not no higher than his collarbone. Like, it was just, that was a bit of a, it reminds me of what, Catch the Pigeon, Dick Dastardly and Muttley and cartoon characters, like having that little troop around him. That was really supposed to be a security call, Am I tripping? What did I have in my breakfast? Really?
Yeah, so there's so many inconsistencies, and it's like
so many dancing parts. It's amazing, and they're all quite amusing when you just see it as the illusion that it is.
Yeah,
is we get pulled in because it then impacts our practical everyday life, isn't it?
So why was it created? For what? What's the purpose of the illusion? Which is what we were discussing just now. And if you look at all sorts of things on the media, and you start picking apart, pulling it apart, like the fires on Maui that was meant to be, it backs up the climate change hoax narrative, like these terrible fires were started because of climate change, when in fact, when it was
the Wizard of Oz shows it all, doesn't it? It's the little man with the big screen, and he can keep projecting, even though you're looking at him, he's still projecting onto the big screen, and it's up to us who we look at, who we focus on. It's like if you focus on the illusion, which we do, obviously, to share this, so probably sound like a complete arsehole at the moment. But yeah, the more we dig and share, the more we're just unearthing what's already there. And then it's like we've got less energy to go and create what we actually need. But it is important to uncover what's there, because
what's there. So Jack says the inconsistency with that last video is that they said he was wearing a bulletproof vest, but the shooter was trying for a headshot. Well, the thing is, Jack, another inconsistency was that it wasn't even Trump that was there. It was a stand-in.
And the bullet came from a different direction, apparently, and they shot the shooter, but the first shot wasn't bad. It's just all a million stories. We don't know. We weren't there. And even if we were there, we wouldn't have been able to witness exactly what happened, because there's so much chaos around us.
I mean, if you really want to listen to all the inconsistencies, and I was going to show it, is like the redacted reports.
Yeah. It's like we want to jump to conclusions, isn't it? We want to find the good guy. We want to find the bad guys. We want to stay in conclusion, but that's playing their game. That's the division, divide and conquer. That's what it does. It takes us down that road of divide and conquer, even if we just disagree about what happened to Trump. Do you know what I mean?
So the shooter, this 20-year-old that they had absolutely no data on whatsoever, but they said they got immediate DNA data to show that it really was this 20-year-old that possibly been mind controlled. Who knows? He was set up to.
Did you see the BBC thing? The BBC guy, when he was interviewing the guy that apparently had been stood on his truck waving with his friends, the guy on the truck, he said to the interviewer said to him, what happened next? And he went, it blew his brains out, and the little guy didn't know what to say. And he went, what do you mean? Well, they absolutely blew his brains out. And then the BBC guy goes, oh, be careful, we don't know who's listening. You can't say that. He's already said it twice. That made me giggle. Because it's just a pantomime on one level.
It's a complete pantomime, but apparently the shooter was on top of the one building that was the closest, that wasn't being supervised by anyone, because the secret
police inside, but apparently the roof was too slopey, so they didn't have anyone up there. That was one of the stories I heard.
Okay, but it was the meeting. It was the headquarters of the operation to safeguard Trump.
Is that what it was? Is that what the building was?
Yes.
Wow.
And it was on the roof.
Yeah.
But it was like 40 minutes or something we'd been spotted on the roof. And there's all sorts of people on the internet, snipers, and saying, oh, this couldn't have happened like this. It's ridiculous. I mean, there's so many different people saying these things. So anyway.
Because then there's a sea of sameness, as when you're in an echo chamber and you don't even know what to believe, because there's so many different opinions. Because we have to draw our own conclusions and tune into ourselves and what feels right for me. That's all I can do. But it's about what feels right for me on an instinctive level, not what feels right in this sort of traumatized needing to grab at something to make me feel stable.
Yeah.
What actually comes out of my true stability. Yeah.
That we can take back our power and use that discernment and our critical thinking to analyze as well. So Julie, thank you, Julie. She says, replying to Jack Cox, psychology is being used adversely. We'll need to unite as sovereign with our power to live our lives with genuine freedom and allow individuals to be supported enough to be their authentic self. And just bear with me. There's a bit of a problem scrolling this. Okay. And allow individuals to be supported enough to be their own authentic self and integrate enough into proper, strong communities. I think that's absolutely the point, isn't it, Julie?
It's hard.
About not giving our power away to all these stories.
Yeah, even to each other within the community. That's the thing about sovereignty and autonomy, isn't it? It's all self-centered, as it should be.
Yes. My autonomous self, my sovereign self. So anyway, here we are, and it's 10 to whatever. Not quite 10 to. So that's enough on that topic. So we have my favorite topic at the moment that's pissing me off, which is the geoengineering. That, you know, it's not just in England, it's all the way across Europe. And now I found the culprit. I'm really happy that I found out who's behind it all.
Have you? Who's behind it?
Well, it's Bill Gates.
Oh.
But then I had another thought. Is Bill Gates real? Does he really exist? Or has he been put together by the media for some reason?
The original Microsoft AI. The virus creator.
So anyway, this is a little bit 1 minute video. So if you want to hate something today, we can all hate on Bill Gates because that's safer. I think maybe he was put there as an antidote to draw our venom, that we can all hate him because he's putting corks up cows' backsides to stop them farting. He's made fake butter now.
He's putting corks in their arses. Who said that?
Me.
Is that true? Like, how serious is it?
Well, that's it. What do you know? What do you know? What's true or not true?
Maybe he owns the cork suppliers, and now that the wine people have screw tops, he's found a new way to use his corks.
But you know, he's created all this fake meat, fake butter.
Oh, they've got a peel is now in Tesco's apparently, and other places. You know, the waxy coating that doesn't wash off, so you have to ingest it.
Oh my God! Well, I wouldn't buy that stuff. I wouldn't. Do not take me to Tesco's. So anyway, it's good that we can hate Bill Gates, and now I know that he's responsible for the climate devastation. So where is that?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's going to do. What's he doing now? Quantum seed cloud. It's cloud seeding.
This is it. This is all about what he's doing. So hang on.
Particles into the stratosphere. It would create a thin chemical cloud of those particles around the whole planet, blocking some sunlight from reaching the surface. It would mimic a giant volcanic eruption, which we know cools the Earth, but it also comes with significant risks and uncertainties.
Things like mass famine, mass flooding, drought, of kinds that will affect very large populations.
It could weaken monsoons in India, China, and Africa enough to affect crops. It could eradicate blue sky.
You start increasing the amount of diffuse light and you have less direct light, which is the same thing as saying it looks hazy and white.
So yeah, I see it every morning. It's really pissing me off. So I went for a walk early this morning with a lovely blue sky, and then I could see whoosh, 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 all the trails being laid, and then it all spreads out, and now we have just like a complete blur out there. I mean, it was a big storm clouds after that, and then the blur, and it's been going on. So many places is saying the same, and yeah, light is very diffuse now.
You need to get the assassins over here and have target practice on them bloody pilots.
Yeah, something needs to happen. So, and then apparently, in my research, I found out this website, which is Climate Changers. So those people that are changing the climate, it's a website to track what's happening. So climate modification has been a thing for 75 years. You know, there's still people like saying, "Oh, I don't believe that's happening. You're just making it up. You're a tinfoil hat person." But all the evidence is there that it has been going on for a very long time. And, you know, I'm struggling with how to feel empowered within that, empowered with the fact that my sky is messed up every day and the light is diminished every day and my crops are not growing as they should do. It really makes me struggle. And that's my personal, it's got me in my weak point, I think.
Yeah, because that's where there's obviously the sovereignty and the autonomy. You can't go very far if there's no sunlight, can you?
No, and if what you plant, then it doesn't grow because the light is diminished.
Yeah.
So it's how to lift oneself up above that. It's like, okay, where's the health in the system? Where can we rise above this? Where can we, what can we do that's different? The other week we were talking about boiling vinegar, weren't we, Jack?
Yeah.
Boiling vinegar. Anyway, maybe that's the solution. Anyway, this is huge. We don't seem to move any farther in these programs. Each week we discuss all this stuff and we come back to the same point again. But it's like what helps us go through the process day by day as we wearily put one foot in front of the next, trying to get through and to find hope and light and, our sovereignty. What keeps us going? So, what people listening here, we've asked this question so many times and we have like 6 minutes left. What keeps you going? What's touched you? What's touched you about what's happening now and what helps you to keep going? So let's see. Julie says, apologies, I have to leave. Julie, you can watch the replay. It's on Facebook, it's on Telegram, it's on Rumble, it's on BitChute, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok. Yeah, so do join us again and do share the videos. So she says, hopefully I'll watch the rest on recording. Many thanks for voicing as you are doing. Geoengineering has happened since at least the 1970s. We need to raise our vibration as much as we may to cope with whatever they try to throw at us. Connect with love and healing source beyond thought. That's very beautiful and very true. So lots of love to you, Julie, and thanks for joining us.
Yes, thanks, Julie.
Yeah, and we value the fact you've made, you've shared here. And Jack says, there is too much hate in the world already. He says, replying.
Well said, Jack.
Yeah, too much hate in the world already. So we have to send Bill Gates love. I do feel sorry for him when I see this picture of him as a young man kind of rocking. He's obviously had huge trauma, maybe MK Ultra abuse and so on. So Marianne, over to you.
Over to me. Yeah, I think what Jack said is really poignant. It's like we can hate on who we like, but isn't hating just everything that we do externalized is just a reflection of an inner process, an internal process. So recognizing that there's hate there is all right, actually, because that's just an awareness, but it's the acting out of it and what we choose to do with the energy of it, because like anger is one of the most potent energetics, isn't it? That's why it's kind of labeled transformative and stuff, because a mother can lift a car off the child and it's the energy of anger, if you like, is that. So hatred has some of that same force in it. I think with hatred, it's really heart attack from that energy. So recognizing where the part of us that wants to slam down another must feel really bad. And we can understand why it feels really bad, because that's what we talk about all the time, all the shenanigans that's going on, all the shit that's going down, all the lies we've been fed, all of the life decisions that we thought we were making for the best, and we put all our energy and all our time and our effort into them, and then it's just every moment you're having the rug pulled from every angle, and we're just all trying our best. So yeah, I think this idea of hate is interesting, because there's a lot of characters to hate. That's what pantomimes do. That's part of the duality, isn't it? The divide and conquer stuff. So being aware of the hatred is really important, but it's what you then act out as a result of that awareness. It's very, very important.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Marion.
TikTok that, Jack. I'm going to keep saying that. Shall that be my little catchphrase? TikTok that, Jack.
Oh, we have to have something to keep us going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So while we've got the opportunity for sovereignty and autonomy, because the tyranny hasn't completely taken away every photon of light that's available.
No, that's true.
We have to just make hay while the sun shines, even though it's not shining. Make hay in the mist.
Oh my God, think of all those homilies that will have to change if they have their way. Oh my God. Yes, anyway, we'll make hay in the mist. That is actually what we've been doing in the gardens. We've got piles of hay in the mist.
Cool. Who's the hay for? What do you do with all the hay?
Well, it's just like it's rained and rained and rained, and we have to keep cutting it down. Oh my God, I tell you what, it's going to be the most fantastic blackberry season. This morning I gorged myself on handfuls of fat, juicy blackberries and stuffed my pockets with them.
Yum, yum.
It's really early in the season, but it's like all the rain, all the brambles are kind of arching out, and they're all covered with flowers and big juicy blackberries coming.
Oh, wow.
That's why we have the other expression, every cloud has a silver lining.
Yeah. Or you can do a pure fruit blackberry ice cream with you freeze bananas and put them through your juicer with a special attachment on, so it purees them. But they're frozen, and then you mix that, we blend that with fruit, and it's like ice cream.
Oh yeah.
Blackberry and banana ice cream.
Okay, we'll have a go. We'll have a go at that next week.
Who's coming in September?
Yeah, who's going to come and try our blackberry and banana ice cream in September?
Because actually it was part of a juicing retreat where I had it. It was considered okay on a juicing retreat. So interesting.
Yummy, yummy, says Jack.
The clock has dung its 7 dongs.
Okay, well, you notice I resisted showing the clip of that European head of the European banks. I mean, what it's got to do with banking is beyond me, saying we have to vaccinate everybody. Vaccinate, vaccinate, vaccinate.
Bankers, politicians, statisticians. Of course, I'll do exactly what you're saying. Pour that poison into my body. Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
No.
Blackberry and banana ice cream. Okay, my love. Enjoy your meditation.
I will.
Be well, be happy.
And we'll see you next week.
See you soon.
See you on TikTok. TikTok that, Jack.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Lots of love to you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing the video. Finding the link on my Telegram channel, and sharing us across the board, all the social media platforms. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.